Three straight Big Ten Series victories for the Boilermakers, including this last weekend against Penn State, as Purdue looks forward to a big week with a couple of home games in the middle of the week before traveling to Maryland. Kyle Charters here for This Week in Purdue Baseball, presented by Burke Boilermaker Golf Complex. Golf season is here with Coach Greg Goff and SID Ben Turner. It was an excellent weekend, including the two games on Saturday as you guys come back to get the series against Penn State after a rough one in the opener. Two one-run victories made for some excellent baseball. That was even better because you got both wins. Just a heck of a weekend.
It really was, Kyle. I mean, it was amazing. The weather was absolutely unbelievable, and the attendance was great. Our fans and fan base has been tremendous, and we get through Friday's game. We had one bad inning there, and couldn't get off the field, and then our guys just showed up Saturday with just a resilience, and we weren't gonna get beat today, and it was an awesome day, a big series, another 3 weekends in a row that we won another series.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. Obviously 7-5 now at the halfway point of the Big Ten, and you do it after losing a game in rough fashion on Friday. I mean, in baseball, the final score doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in a lot of sports, but certainly you have an inning that goes sideways on you. How did you try to shape that message into having your team be able to rebound in the fashion that it did on Saturday?
Sure. Well, we just told them, during that game, hey, you just got to don't play the scoreboard. We just try not to play our opponent to our scoreboard. Just play our game. Just keep doing what we're doing. And I thought we had some good at-bats there late. And as you know, we probably had as much hard contact during that whole game than we had in the last couple of weeks. And I just felt like if we could just rebound and get through that game, that we would show up the next day and have, Blackwell on the mound and Kyle on the mound. I knew they were going to give us a good start. And our guys were at a point where they were ready to compete. And I just felt like it was just a different mindset there on Saturday.
And against the Nittany Lions on Saturday in that doubleheader, long day of baseball, you might have played your two most complete games, I thought, pitching, hitting, fielding of the season, and did it, and it's such a critical moment.
That's right.
Of the season is a pretty good feat.
It is, and Penn State's really good. They have an older club that can really hit. They're hitting over 300. They're one of the top offenses in the league. And I thought, and we talk about it all the time, the three facets of baseball. You got to do all three to have a chance to win. And I thought on Saturday, from start to finish, we did a great job. We got behind in the first game, which doesn't usually happen when Jonathan's on the mound. And, our offense came right back and put together some good at-bats. And Cascade hits the home run. And then Valdez hits one there in the same inning. And I just thought we had a complete game.
Yeah, resilient. You already used the word resiliency. You stressed that a lot throughout the course of the season, 56-game grind. And maybe more so than ever did they show the resiliency coming back after a rough Friday. You're down 3-0 all of a sudden. Here we go again with all these 2-out runs for Penn State.
Right.
And then have good at-bats right off the bat like that. Against they used their closer essentially to start Saturday's first game, which was a little surprising, and thankfully it didn't work. But meanwhile, the starting pitching, like you talked about, you got to have that to have a chance to sweep a doubleheader. And for Blackwell to go out there and give you 5 straight zeros after a rare, rough first inning. Right. And then Iwinski now at Alexander, 14 innings, 2 runs in his first 2 starts. I mean, that's getting it done.
That's getting it done, Ben. It's getting it done. Overall with Kyle and Blackwell and Kyle Iwinski, I mean, those 3 guys, we couldn't have asked for a better starting rotation, to be honest with you. Most every game they've given us a quality start. And it gives our offense a chance to get out front. That's why we won the last 3 weekends. It starts with our starting pitching, and we all weekend. I thought Kyle threw well on Friday as well. It's exciting. It's big, and it all starts on the mound for sure.
And it gives you a chance every weekend, like you're talking about, when you can trust those 3 guys to at least give you a chance to win, and what a difference that makes. The way the guys answered the bell like that, starting in the bottom of the first inning. I suppose there was nothing you could say at that point. It's just time to go out there and play.
That's
right. They one good at bat after another.
It was, and that's the thing. I think our offense is starting to play like we thought they would, and it starts with quality. It starts with Mike Bolton. I think he's been absolutely amazing these last 2 or 3 weeks. Just his attitude, and you can just tell, as a team that's playing against him and us, you don't like, a guy sitting up there and he's saying no to balls and like you can't get me out. I mean, it's pretty awesome to have that type of mentality, and he's really locked in and adjusted with 2 strikes. He gets the 2 strike single there in the infield, and then Jarvis gets the hit by pitch with 2K, and then Cassian gets the 0 slider and hits the 3-run homer. Again, we can just keep building and stacking good at bats. We got a chance to be pretty good offensively.
On the flip side, you guys handled their leadoff man, Penn State's leadoff man, Hannon, who's really good at getting on base and stealing bases. For the most part, you were able to control him, which I thought was a big difference in the series.
It really was, and we got him out there that last out to end the series and end the game. But they do. I was very, I'll be honest with you, I was very impressed with their offense and their hitters. As I saw them take BP and through the first few games, I knew we were going to be in. But again, good pitching stops, good hitting, and you got to play good defense behind our guys. And I just thought it was just a well-played game.
And when you get a Sunday start, it turned out to be Saturday because of the weather, but when you get a start like that out of Kyle Iwinski, man, does it take a lot of pressure off your bullpen, what at times is a tired bullpen. But he comes back on Saturday after the rough start at Minnesota where he failed to get out of the first inning.
Yep.
Just quite a performance. I mean, a guy who has really grinded for you guys and been sort of the perfect mentality for that Game 3 starter, to see him come back like that and not only come back and pitch well, but pitch great.
Yes,
I mean,
did.
it was a huge moment for him and for you guys.
Huge, and I think Kyle, Coach Rooney did a really good job with him. A lot of times these guys come in for the first time. They don't know what it takes to really be successful, and I think Kyle is learning that with his lifestyle and just the way he works, and things of that nature. I'm really proud of him, and comes from a great family and just a tough, hard-nosed guy that's really competitive, that throws lots of strikes and gets in that strike zone.
Meanwhile, Aaron Suval at the tail end of things for you does the rare feat of getting 2 saves in one day. We saw it with Ross Lerner a few years ago in 2018. We'll see Ross coming into town in the middle of the week when Butler comes in on Wednesday. But Suval, just what he's done for you late in games, he seems to rise to the moment, which he did in Game 2 in particular after giving up a couple of runs, but got the key strike out of Hannon there to end that game. I mean, he's been so valuable to you.
He really has, and our guys have a lot of confidence in him, Kyle, and it's the guy we want with the ball late in the game, and sometimes makes it interesting. I wish we could go 1, 2, 3, but it makes life wonderful, I guess, and I'm really proud of him and what he does.
It takes a double header to be able to get 2 saves in one day, or maybe an oddity where a game gets suspended and finished the next day, like happened in 2018. The chance like that obviously has to be the right scenario, and you're probably not going to see it early in the year because guys get stretched out more. Yep. So because he's at April 15th into 30 innings and 16 appearances, you're much more comfortable doing that, putting him back out there.
Yes, and that's the thing. He didn't throw a lot of pitches in Game 1, and so we talked to him, in between games, and he said, hey, if I can get to the end, I'll be ready to go, and he is. His stamina's built up, and we feel very good about that.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the week ahead. Also, a couple of hot bats in the lineup for the Boilermakers. We'll do that coming up in just a moment. This is This Week in Purdue Baseball. It's warming up and golf season is here. As a member of the Pete Dye Golf Trail, Burke Boilermaker courses offer a variety of experiences and services for you to enjoy year-round. Visit PurdueGolf.com/clubhouse to stay up to date with all the latest deals and offerings, as well as construction and related traffic updates for the new clubhouse. That's PurdueGolf.com/clubhouse. Welcome back to This Week in Purdue Baseball. Kyle with the coach and Ben. Greg, you got trio of guys in the middle of your lineup in particular who really had great weekends and have been playing well. Jake Parr being one of them. I mean, he has been on a tear here as of late, really going back a few weeks. I mean, he's been solid. I mean, I think you said last week he won that job at first base, and he's done nothing here recently to let loose of it. I mean, he's playing well.
He really has, and I'm just so proud of Jake and what he's done. He's been in our program for 4 years and worked hard, and Cam Thompson put on a show last year and had a great year, and Jake didn't play as much, mostly against lefties, and this year he's kind of reversed a little bit, and so just really proud of Jake and what he's done and the hard work he's put into, and coming back and having such a great senior year. What a great reward for him. Couldn't happen to a better person, and really excited for him.
You played C.J. Valdez at second base, which we couldn't believe after 65 starts as the as the designated hitter in the middle of the week last week, and he didn't have a good day offensively. And I thought to myself, my thoughts maybe not yours, but man, he's running out of time to get going. And then you put him in late on Friday in the blowout. You got a line drive base hit. And you thought, oh,
Yeah.
that looked like C.J. Valdez of old.
Right.
And then you put him back in the starting lineup again on Saturday, and he had a great Saturday. Sometimes it just takes that one more chance, and he got it on Friday in the blowout loss. And man, if you could get him going like he was on Saturday for the rest of the year, that would be huge.
Yeah, it is. And CJ had a really tough leg injury last year, and the reason why he was limited to DH, and he's feeling great, and I feel good about him going out there and giving Paul a rest and letting CJ play. I remember after the game, I asked CJ how he felt. He said it felt amazing to be out there. So, he's worked really hard, especially these last few weeks, and we need him to step up. But him and Cam Thompson had a big hit there in that last few innings on Friday, and Keenan Taylor. We got some depth. We got some depth, and I think that's what's the driving force behind these guys. They know that if they don't play well, that there's some guys behind them that can come in and do the job as well, Kyle. So we're really blessed with that.
Your catcher, Connor Caskinet, riding a 13-game on-base streak. Pretty good, batting in the middle of the lineup. And he's been an Iron Man for you behind the plate as of late. He did get a couple innings off late Friday, but catching both games of a doubleheader. There's been a lot of doubleheaders this year, and he's handled it. Meanwhile, I love this. He had 5 RBIs in the series against Penn State. All of them came in the first inning.
Awesome.
When the cleanup man drives in the leadoff man in the first inning, that's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing, Ben, I tell you. And he's played really well, and we're really excited, really thankful that he's here. And it was good to get Steve in there later on in Friday, and then Staddy came in and finished the game on Saturday. And just seeing those guys get opportunities as well is great. I love all 3 of those guys. And really proud of them and how they work with each other.
And having Bolt on base, obviously, in front of Caskinet, huge. He makes such a difference when he's on the base paths, and he was on in all 3 first innings. And who did Caskinet knock in? Our leadoff man.
That's
so
right.
There you go. Butler and Ball State up first. Ball State and Butler, rather, and then we're off to Maryland. Ball State obviously leading the MAC, very good team. Butler, Ross Leonard, love to see him back at Alexander. He had so much success here in 17 and 18, and then came back as a staff member.
Yep.
And these midweek games have been very popular, so why not fill up the stands again?
Well, I think it'll be a great crowd, and Ball State will start out with a really good club. Rich does a great job down there, and they had a really good program and won a lot of games, so it'll be a good challenge for us. It's great. I think it's awesome for our players to be able to have some competitive midweek games and things of that nature. We need to get on the win side of those things as we kind of build this program, and then having Ross, get a chance to see Ross. I think a lot of Ross had a chance to coach him his last year here, and then brought him back on as a part of my staff, and I think a lot of Ross learned and. Excited about seeing him. Won't like him for about 9 innings, and then I'll give him a hug after that. But thanks so much of Ross and what he's done for our program.
The weather's been great. Should be great for the midweek games against Ball State and Butler this week, and then go on the road to Maryland and back home for 9 straight games. How much does that, the crowd, we've had 1,500, maybe more than that, for most of the home games so far this year. How much of a boost does that give your team?
It's huge, and so I go back and watch all the games, and we got videos, cameras all over, and the one video camera that's behind home, just seeing the amount of people. I mean, really, it's really amazing. And I don't even, in a town that you think a lot of people, I don't even know. It's awesome that people are just coming out. Again, I think it's a lot to do with our players and how they've, put so much time in our community and just connecting with our people. But it's just awesome. It's fun to coach. It's fun to play, and it makes it a big difference. It makes a big home field advantage for us at Alexander.
So we will hit the turn against Maryland this weekend. The Terps, preseason favorite in the Big Ten, have had a good year.
Yep.
Of course, I go back to 2018, and our trip over there to Maryland really changed that whole season. And we got off to just an outstanding roll. Opportunity here again this season to get rolling again after a good first half of the Big Ten. It'll be a challenge over there. They're a good team, but opportunity is great.
That's right. I'm excited and looking forward to it. We got to get through these first 2 midweek games and then focus on Maryland. But again, we got to continue to play well on the weekends. We've played pretty well the last 3 weeks, and again, we just got to, like I tell our players, we got to keep getting better each week because the competition keeps getting better. So looking forward to it.
Best of luck today, this week, and this weekend.
A lot of baseball. It's awesome.
No doubt. All right, that'll do it for our show for this week. We'll be back again next week to put a wrap on that Maryland series and look ahead to the return home as well. For Ben Turner and Greg Goff, I'm Kyle Charters. Thanks for watching This Week in Purdue Baseball, presented by Burke Boilermaker Golf Complex.